Jim Shooter died last week. And back in, well, December 18th, 2019, I bought this book, which is Jim Shooter, Conversations with Comic Artist Series, edited by Sachs, Hoffman, and Grace. It's a good book if you're interested in reading about writers. Now, see the price? That's what I paid in 2019, $18.38 with tax. And today, it's $25. $100 if you buy the hardback, $30 with the paperback. Jim Shooter is called tallest man in comic books. He started writing in 1966. Now this guy's only 3 years older than me. I did not realize that until a couple decades later. He just basically worked in comic books his whole adult life, starting in high school. So, had an interesting career. Now I'm going to talk about Strange Tales 114, November 63, written by Stan Lee, 18-page comic book story. The Human Torch meets Captain America. Now, in this book I bought, it's got this note. Shooter had what he called the 50-cent storytelling lecture using Strange Tales 114, November 63. So, the characters must be introduced. Actually, let's go up here and summarize it. Characters must be introduced. The situation must be established. The conflict must be introduced. The suspense must be built. A climax must be reached, and a resolution must be achieved. It's a short story. It's a short story. Now, previously, a few months ago, I put this up. Algis Boudry's Writing to the Point. And he talks about how to write a short story. He uses a similar pattern. And if you're interested, you can look at that. But I bought a online version of this. I used to have the actual comic, but I'm an old man and that's not with me anymore. So, Captain America, Human Torch. So, let's go over this. Pages 1 and 2, the characters must be introduced. Now here, the Human Torch, he's the hero of the story, main focus character. Johnny Storm, he's the teenage hothead member of the Fantastic Four. Lives in Glenville. He can turn his body into living flame. He's a mutant, mutated by cosmic rays. He can fly, he can shoot fire bolts from his hands. 3 of his buddies come to his home to tell him that Captain America is scheduled to appear at the Glenville Antique Auto Show that afternoon. Now, Torch is a big fan of Captain America, so he has to go. So, He wonders where Captain America has been and why he chose to resurface at the Glenville Antique Auto Show. Pages 3 and 4. Torch, as Johnny Storm, goes to the antique show. He's wandering around waiting for Captain America to appear when two criminals steal a car that's described as a priceless antique car. It's in working order and they're driving away in it. Johnny turns into the Human Torch to stop them. But as Johnny approaches the car, Captain America jumps ahead of him, saying, "Stand aside, Sonny, I'll handle this." Captain America jumps on the car. The torch flies ahead of the car and melts the road ahead of the car. Now, next thing, the situation must be established. Johnny flies away. Page 6. The cops arrest the Hoods, whose car's stuck in the melted road. Captain America is cheered as he departs. In the final panel of page 6, Johnny is at his girlfriend's house reading the newspaper. The headline reads, "Captain America noses out Human Torch in trapping thugs." Page 7, there are several panels where Johnny's girlfriend says admiring things about Captain America. Johnny, a hothead, gets jealous, gets mad. He thinks she's insulting him. When he gets mad, he can't help it. His flame turns on. So he bursts into flame, starts melting the floor. His girlfriend's place. Girlfriend wants him out. Johnny departs. The conflict must be introduced. Pages 8 and 9. Captain America, without being seen by authorities, busts the two crooks out of the jail. Then he gives them a stolen Ferrari as a getaway vehicle. Captain America is a crook in league with the crooks. This technique is called dramatic irony. The audience now knows something the other characters in the story do not yet know. Suspense must be built. Pages 10 and 11. Police tell Johnny that the two car thieves have broken out of jail. They don't know Captain America had anything to do with it. Johnny flies until he sees the two crooks. He cuts the tires off the Ferrari with his fire. They jump out of the car and jump into water, thinking they'll be safe from his flame. As the torch, Johnny sends his fire bolts in and starts boiling the water. The two crooks agree to sing if he lets them live. They tell Torch they are partners with Captain America, and he, at this moment, is robbing the Glenville Bank. The police arrive, and Johnny tells them he's going to the Glenville Bank. Pages 12 and 13. Page 12 depicts Captain America robbing the bank and leaving the bank with the loot. He has outside overhead what we would now call a large drone flying over the bank. Stationary. A cable from the drone lifts the money and Cap, and just as Cap is entering the drone, Torch finds him. Page 13 depicts Torch attacking the drone with flame. It's disabled, and Captain America puts on a parachute and bails out. Pages 14, 15. Cap escapes the torch, and on the ground, Cap creates a water attack. Too silly to describe, but he puts the torch out, his flames out with water, and then the Cap puts handcuffs on the torch, and he departs. A climax must be reached. Pages 16, 17, and most of page 18. A kindly janitor dries torch using portable fans and heaters. Once torch is dry, he turns to flame and melts off the handcuffs. Meantime, the Captain America is driving away in a van. When the torch finds him, Cap stops the van and goes into the back of the van. When the torch flies into the back of the van, the Cap acrobatically leaps out. Cap slams the door shut. The interior of the back of the van is lined with asbestos. Johnny apparently can't escape. Cap is gloating and departing. But the torch manages to break the lock. Torch escapes and fights with Cap. The torch encases Cap in a fire jail cell made of fire. He also reaches in and removes Cap's mask. It's an old enemy, the Acrobat. It's not Steve Rogers, the real Captain America. The cops are coming to arrest this fake Captain America, and Johnny flies home. Now, resolutions can be very short. And these are the bottom three panels, bottom of page 18. Johnny is reading about Captain America, Steve Rogers. And at the final panel, he wonders what happened to him. Well, that's how it kind of started. He was told by his buddies Captain America's going to be there, and he's wondering why Captain America chose Glenville to reappear and where he's been. So Cap, the real Cap, soon returns in Avengers 4 in March 64, 4 months later. This was November 63. So it's a fascinating way to tell a short story. It's not the only way, but you can look at you can find this yourself and look it up, and you can of course write down this pattern here. Characters introduced, situation established, conflict introduced. So that's when Cap and Human Torch are in conflict. Suspense built, how will it end? A climax reach and a resolution. So let's. Oh, by the way, back then, I think for about 40 years, the Postal Service required 2-page written story in these comic books for mailing purposes. That was Stan Lee's first comic book work. In 1940, he wrote a 2-page Captain America story. So there's the asbestos-lined interior of the truck. And then the drone, which had been disabled, fell to the ground. Cap was retrieving the money that he'd stole from the bank. Here he's got a fire flame jail, and he's flying off. Then the last three, he's reading Captain America, wonder what ever became of him. And then at the end, you guessed it, this story was really a test to see if you too would like Captain America to return. I remember reading that at the time and thinking, yeah, I'd like Captain America to return. But I was not a reader of the Avengers, so I didn't know until it was several months later in 64 that Captain America had returned. Really didn't become a regular Marvel reader until the end of 65. I kind of switched over in 1965 from reading Justice League and other DC comics to start reading Marvel, Daredevil, and so forth. Anyway, that's A salute to Jim Shooter. He didn't invent that, but the book about him says he did teach that, and many, many writers said they appreciated Shooter's teaching.